Aubrey. Happy Monday. We're recording this on Monday, at least.
Yeah, right.
Students will hear this on Tuesday. But how are
I'm great. Happy Monday to you. Happy Tuesday to everyone listening.
you?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited to record with you today.
Me too. And we are answering a question that we get all the time. Um, Aubrey, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, we're talking about reasons your IELTS score might be delayed. If you've taken the IELTS exam before, you probably really wanted to know, when am I going to get my scores back? And if there was a delay, that would be very concerning. And you would want to know in advance, like, what might have caused this delay. So we get this question a lot. We're excited to give you guys details, insider examiner details today for why the results might be delayed.
Exactly. All right. So before we get to that information, though, we want to remind you that we just recorded a really awesome episode last week, guys. IELTS Energy 1327, the difference between 7 and 8 for speaking. I mean, we're talking about really insider IELTS stuff today, right? And the scoring is also very insider IELTS stuff. And you guys need the facts about these things in order to perform well as adults. You need to know exactly what is required. So, guys, do go back and listen to that episode, the difference between 7 and 8 for speaking, and hit follow right now if you're not already following, because we have two amazing new episodes every week all about IELTS.
Yes, and we also want to share a poll from a few
Oh, yeah.
episodes ago. This is great. We asked, what IELTS resources do you use? We were talking about lots of different free resources online and some of the paid resources you can use for like essay corrections. And we were very curious, and I was fascinated by these results. So the results were, using free resources only, 91%.
That's
Paid
crazy.
resources, 9%. So yeah, this kind of shocked me. We have so many IELTS students in our course, so I think I kind of
Yeah,
start getting the impression that like everyone studying for IELTS
exactly.
uses a paid course, and evidently that is not the case.
I'm surprised too.
Yeah.
That really surprises me because IELTS is such a hard test. And without like feedback on your speaking and writing, like how do you know what to improve? And it just comes back to the old adage. And I know I've said this on the show before, but you can't teach yourself what you don't know. Like
Right.
with something that is so complex and huge as IELTS, it does surprise me that there aren't more people at least getting like the Cambridge practice test books or like a little IELTS course or something. So yeah, that's very interesting results.
Yeah, and there is a chance, I was thinking about these polls, it's likely that often students want to say both, right? Because if maybe they're thinking,
Yeah,
okay, I do have this that I use that's paid, but maybe I use more free resources, so you're
that
choosing
could
that
be.
one. So that's what my hope is going to be, that a lot of you who chose free also have some paid resources you're using to make sure that you're ready for for test day, and then you just also use free resources a lot.
Yeah, me too. Wow. Okay. Well, at the end of today's show, guys, we will announce our poll for today. So stay tuned for that. But let's get to this question. Aubrey, can you read that?
Yes, this is from Fatima. Thank you for sending in this amazing question. And she said, hope this email finds you well. I have a question regarding IELTS delay. The reason for this delay was stated for a quality check, but for me, it has already been 14 days now since my exam date. Do you have any idea when will I get my result? Oh, the frustration. I can feel it through her email.
I mean, we've already said that's such a huge test, but beyond like the preparation part being huge, the consequences are huge.
Right.
Like that would be just the pressure and the anxiety in waiting for those results. So let's first of all just set the realistic expectations here. If you take paper IELTS, then you can expect your results in 13 days. So we'll say 2 weeks, right? After you take the test, you should get your results. So maybe, if she says it's been 14 days and they already told her they're being withheld, then she might have taken the computer exam, because
Mhm.
if you take the computer test, you get your results within 3 to 5 days, which is super fast.
Right. So if she took the computer exam and it's been 2 weeks, then she's like, "Ooh, I have cause for concern. This is a lot longer than I would expect." Whereas paper-based, that's about par for the course.
Yeah, totally. And IELTS always says for quality check. Like they're not going to tell you exactly why. That's why so many students have this question because IELTS doesn't tell you. I actually did a YouTube video about this like 4 years ago, and it's still one of our most commented on videos. So do check that out, guys, on IELTS Energy TV. It's called "Why Are Your IELTS Results Withheld?" There have been 12,000 views on this, and get this, guys, 561 comments on that video. So, yes, this is a very common question.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by all those comments because this is something we have there's a community there of anyone who's had their test be late, so they're wanting to comment and share how long it took for them to get the results, why they were late, so it's probably gotta be super interesting to go and read those comments so you can see a lot of different people's experiences.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. The sense of community, right? To know
Yeah,
that you're not alone.
for sure.
That's one of the greatest reasons to listen to this podcast and go onto YouTube and watch those videos because you are listening to us alongside thousands of people from around the world are listening to the same information, guys. So you're in good company. All right. So let's get into this. There are actually just three reasons why your IELTS results might be withheld. And again, like they're going to say it's a quality check, but they're not going to tell you exactly why.
Yeah. So the first reason is a random audit, which luckily this has nothing to do with you. British Council and IDP will randomly check examiners for quality control, right? And when they do this, the speaking recordings and the speaking and writing scores are sent to England or Australia. So you can see how this would take quite a bit longer.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Because once they get sent to like one of the headquarters, right? Then those results that are being questioned, not the results being questioned, but the examiner is being checked. Those results have to be then sent to another test center somewhere, and then another IELTS trainer or what have you will have to check those results. And they have maybe 5 days, I'm going to guess, right, in order to check those results. So it does delay it by quite a bit, just all the processing and admin that goes along
Right.
with it. But again, this has nothing to do with you. This has to do with making sure the examiners are doing their job correctly.
Exactly. Make sure they're following procedures correctly. Make sure that the scores they're giving are correct. So if this happens to you, it's just bad luck and you're just going to have
Exactly.
to wait a little bit longer to get your scores.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just about the like you said procedures, right? I want students to pay attention to that because yes, like our main job as IELTS examiners is to give you accurate scores and that's why we are checked like this to make sure they're correct because it's really hard to assign those scores, so we have to make sure we're doing it correctly. But procedures. Oh my gosh. Like whoever listens to your examiner will be checking how much time they're spending on each question, like second by second. And if they're saying exactly the right words on the script, and like it is so strict, you guys. It's a tough job. All right, so the second one, which I know you guys will not do, it is technically called malpractice. That sounds so heavy. It just means cheating.
Right. It sounds very medical when we say malpractice. We're assuming
Yes.
it's like what a doctor does, right? It's a very official way of saying somebody cheated or there was at least suspicion of someone cheating.
Now, Aubrey, what do you think would make an examiner question this? Like, as a
Hmm.
speaking examiner, let's say, is there any way someone could cheat on a speaking test?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds I can think of high school where you have, like, a little cheat sheet in your palm, right, with maybe some vocabulary written there or something written on your hand, who knows? Or if you're taking it online, if you have, like,
Yeah.
paper where you can see that you're not supposed to, right? I can imagine there are things people get creative. There's ways that you could cheat if you tried.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in person, right? There's no way you can cheat. The
Imagine trying to sneak
examiners like
looking at your hand.
yeah, no, the
I
examiner
can't
can
imagine.
see your hand also. Like I can
Right?
see everything on your person. So you can't cheat there, but in if you're taking IELTS online, which is now available, or, there's another reason you're doing the speaking exam online, yeah, I mean, you could have someone next to you, like a native speaker, maybe like writing notes on a
Mhm.
board and showing you what to say. I don't know. That'd be so hard though. Um, I think the main reason maybe would be on the writing test if you've like
Mm.
memorized an essay and the examiner thinks it's too perfect, this is impossible that you did this on your own. But yeah, I think cheating on IELTS is really hard.
I think it would be harder and would take more time to be prepared to cheat than it takes to be prepared to get the score you need. So,
Yeah,
it's gotta be
exactly.
really difficult, and, I mean, not there are lots of reasons to not cheat, but also I think it's harder for the IELTS exam than just studying.
Yeah, for sure. But just the last note on the cheating thing, if it is found that you cheated on IELTS, you can never take the test again. Like they ban you from taking the test again. So
Another reason to not cheat.
yeah, but you guys
Bottom
you guys
line,
won't do
guys,
that.
don't cheat on IELTS.
But yeah, I'm not worried because nobody listening here would do that. So the
Of course
last
not.
reason, and this is the most common reason actually, is a jagged score. So what's a jagged score, Aubrey?
Yeah, this is actually really common. A jagged score or jagged profile means your scores are very different. Like you got a 6 on speaking, but a 9 for listening.
Yeah.
And so if there are two or more band differences between scores, it's automatically marked as jagged because that is a little bit surprising. Like, ooh, maybe their speaking score should be a little higher if they could get such a high score on listening.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, it is weird to think that someone would get, an 8 on writing and then maybe like a 6 on reading because those two skills are connected. So it is odd that someone might get a 2 or more band difference between their scores. So when that does happen, it is automatically caught by the computer because all your scores, whether it's computer or paper, all of your scores have to be entered into a computer at some point. So they are automatically flagged. And then those results have to be double checked, right? So an invigilator will double check the listening and reading scores, and an examiner will double check the speaking and writing scores. So your scores might change in that process if there was a problem the first time. Um, and I think more often than not, it's due to the grader that made a mistake somehow. Because, like I said, it is rare that someone would have a 2 band point or more difference between two scores. That's rare. So if there is a jagged profile, then it's probably up to the person that graded it, either the invigilator for writing and the invigilator for reading and listening, or the examiner for speaking and writing. So I think now this all sounds, like a lot of information and complicated, but I think what's comforting here is that IELTS is really careful about getting you the most accurate scores.
It's true. If there's a delay, it's likely because IELTS is on your side here. They want to make sure your scores are correct. They want to definitely minimize the amount of people who have to ask for their examen to be like remarked.
Mhm.
So, luckily, even though sometimes this means a little bit of a delay, that's great to know that IELTS is really careful to give everyone accurate scores.
Yeah, totally, totally. All right, guys. So remember, if you have IELTS questions, you can email us support@allearsenglish.com. Um, or you can leave a comment on a YouTube video. Lots of ways to get in touch. Now,
Or you can leave a question on the Spotify poll,
yep, I was
right?
gonna say that.
Yes, you can also put questions there, and we're going to share today's poll question. We know sometimes people get these, jagged scores, but always, it's very rare for someone to get a 7 in everything. Often you do have stronger skills in different subjects, and we
Mhm.
want to know the poll question is, what is your strongest IELTS skill, right? Listening, reading, writing, or speaking. This is going to be really interesting. In a couple weeks, we'll announce the results. And I think it'll be interesting for you to find out if other students have the same strengths you do or if it's very different.
I'm very curious about this. I'm very curious. Guys, please answer today's poll question on Spotify and keep listening in a couple weeks. Hit follow so you don't miss it, and we will announce the results. Let's guess, Aubrey. What do you think it's going to be?
Maybe reading. Reading is we used to have so many students get a band 9 in reading once you have the strategies. So that's my guess is a lot of students will say reading. What do you think?
Well, yeah, but that's because they take our 3 keys IELTS
That's true.
course.
I'm
That's why
thinking
they
of
get a
3 keys
9 in
students.
reading.
Right.
I'm gonna say that I think most people think listening is the strongest. I think
Okay.
listening might be because listening's the easiest to improve on your own. You know what
That
I
makes
mean?
sense.
The other 3 sections are really hard to prepare on your own, but listening, you could just listen to a lot of English and do
Yeah,
practice tests,
true.
and that could improve. So I'm gonna guess listening, but stay tuned in a couple weeks. Hit follow so you don't miss that, and we'll announce the results.
We'll find out who's right, Jessica or myself.
All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Awesome. See you tomorrow.